Again, I thought that game was decided, unfortunately, very early. You take out that first inning, and it was 6-6 the rest of the way. So their guy got off to a great start. Will was not sharp today, and obviously that was the difference. It's not all on Will. We need to do a better job behind him. But, again, frustrating loss, but we'll continue to learn from it, and we'll continue to get better.
We'll start with Dave.
Hey, Mark, thanks for doing this. The first 7 innings against Bednar, very tough to get something done. How much of that was just him being that good, or what did you think about the guys at bats today against?
Well, I think we needed to get on his fastball better than we did. We started too late after seeing it for a while, but he did today what he's been doing all year. I mean, what he did, we watched a lot of video of him, obviously, and that's what he did to just about everybody this year. He's got very high strikeout numbers. They as a staff, are near the very top in the country of strikeouts as a staff. So, you're going to have to battle. And thought late we did a much better job getting on fastballs. And in this league, if you miss fastballs, then you're in trouble. So we need to continue to do a better job of not missing fastballs when we get them.
Colin?
And Mark, you mentioned Will wasn't as sharp today. Just what did you see from him that really made him struggle through those two and a third?
He just threw a lot of balls in the middle of the plate. Didn't appear to have very much deception at all today, and they were on everything he threw from the very first pitch of the game. So he needs to get back to work. I know he will. He's going to be a very important guy for us down the stretch, but his last few starts have not been as good as his first few, and so we got to get him back on track.
John?
What did you make of your team's effort towards the end of the game and continuing to try to chip away at that lead?
Yeah, it was clear that we weren't going to lay down. At one point, obviously, what was it, 9-1, and we made them put their closer in the game, and so that can be important as we move forward. When we play like we're capable, I think we can compete with almost every team in the country, if not any team in the country. But we have to be at our best to beat the top 5, 6, 7, 8 teams in the country, and that's what gets to Omaha. So we're close, but we need to get over that last little hump to compete against the best of the best. I think I said that yesterday, and I'll continue to say it as we're working on it. We need to just continue to get a little bit more improvement in all areas so that we can beat the best of the best. Obviously, that's the goal.
Johnny had to follow.
Yeah, it wasn't obviously the best start all around, but how did you feel like your team responded to y'all's conversation last night in the locker room? And I guess the players had a little meeting themselves as well.
Yeah, I thought it was very positive. Obviously, we had went a little unorthodox with what we did last night after the game. I spoke to the team face to face, eye to eye, and said things that needed to be said. And then afterwards, I asked them to meet as a team and look each other in the eye and talk about important issues. And then I met with the leaders on our team this morning and just talked about all the things that we can do to continue to make adjustments where necessary and to make sure that everybody is moving in the same and right direction. And thought everything was very productive. Obviously, we didn't end up with a win today, but we're gonna see the payoff of that. Promise you.
Dave?
Mark Bennett got his debut today, pitched pretty well. Just what was the thinking of going to him today, and was that maybe kind of an audition for sorts for going down the road?
It could be. It could be. The thought behind using him today is obviously they were on our power righties pretty good there for a while, and so when that's the case, sometimes you can bring in a soft toss and lefty and tie him in knots. And I thought he gave us a little bit of a spark. Thought the dugout was really excited to see him in there, and that gave us additional momentum. And he's a guy that's been a great teammate all year, and he was on the 30-man this weekend. And so if you're on the 30-man, if you get a chance, we're going to use you. And so I thought he did a nice job. Obviously, we played good defense behind him, but he threw one inning and gave up no runs. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, sometimes you need a change of look guy. You have power righties, and maybe a soft toss and lefty can come in there and just tie him in knots.
Colin?
Andrew obviously had the big day with the 2 home runs. You moved him up to the 2-hole. What does he kind of give you in that spot, and what did you see from him today?
Well, he's just a veteran. It's Alan's a veteran. Eyster's a veteran, Seitler's a veteran, Clark's a veteran. You know, the rest of the guys, besides I think George, are playing in the SEC for the first time. So just wanted to stuff all those veterans up there at the top. Mississippi State's a great example of having old, veteran, talented players, and they give you better at bats generally. It's just the way this league works. You've got to work through it. You've got to get the skins on the wall, and just get that kind of experience to be able to know what it takes, to hit with 2 strikes, to give big at bats when it really matters. And so that Eyster did a really nice job there. You know, he's one of the leaders on our team that we met with this morning, and I told him of the leaders that in that group, you can lead by talking about what needs to be done, but the best way you can lead is getting big hits and producing. And obviously he did that today and gave us a chance there at the end.